Hello, folks. I'm back again with ancient cosmography. Still studying like the Red Hand of Ulster, and so the Red Hand of Ulster seems to be this the Antrim Hills, these North Antrim Hills, which have a lot of, I think, red sandstone. So this image, I've increased the saturation, so it's not really this red, it's really like a reddish brown, but that's what it looks like. This is from Google Earth. So this, even on this, I increased the saturation a little bit to make it a little more bright red, but I mean, it's the Red Hand of Ulster. It's the Bloody Hand of Ulster. So it's not it's not it's meant to be the color of blood, so not bright red, but like more like a dark red. And so this is the painting from Ulster showing the giant Finn McCool's severed wrist that he cuts off his own hand to throw it across so that he can win the race to Ulster and then become lord of it. So it seems that represents Argyll Peninsula as his arm, and then the Antrim Hills as the hand, which corresponds to the 5,500-year-old Egyptian avatar of Britain, where it seems to be holding Ireland by that same part, by Argyll and Ulster. And so this, this all supports the idea that Finn McCool is actually Britain, because Finn McCool, in this painting, this giant is labeled as being Finn McCool. And Finn McCool, some people say that he's generally associated with Ireland, but he may actually be Britain, or even the British Isles entirely, or some part of Britain. But he may well be just Britain, like just as Finn means white, and the ancient Egyptian word for Britain was the white-haired isle, and Finn is called white because his hair turns white, but I think it's all about the White Cliffs of Dover, since that's how Britain was known in the ancient world, like by the Greeks and Latins and whatnot, as Albion, Alba, the White Island, and then the Scots even carried on that name, Alba. So, I'm pretty sure about this. And then, what adds to the idea that Finn is actually Britain is the fact that, well, let's see, I guess I can't see it right here, but here, like, in Scotland, they have traditions of Finn as well, and also on the Isle of Man, and so they refer to Finn in Scotland as Fingal, and so Fingal, they have a cave named after him. Fingal's Cave is, I believe it's like right in there. So it's inside the Inner Hebrides, one of the little isles right off the Scottish coast here. And so, it's not super close to Ireland. Like if Finn was just associated with Ireland, then, you could still maybe say, okay, maybe he has some cave associated with him in Scotland. But if you did, you'd think that cave would be like very close to Scotland, like either in Isla or Kintyre or something like that. But the fact that it's way over here, much further from Scotland, to me bolsters the idea that Finn is actually Britain. Another thing is that one of the most famous stories of Finn McCool is that where he touches a salmon with his thumb and then touches his tooth with his thumb and then gains wisdom somehow. So I think that this is referring to that basically at least for this avatar, for this story, the Isle of Skye would be his head, and these islands here would be his fist and his thumb, and this would be maybe his wrist, and this would be his arm, and somehow it doesn't really attach all the way, but close enough. Or maybe this is his arm, I don't know. And then the salmon would either be this island or islands, or it would be the Outer Hebrides here, which would be like a big salmon. So yeah, might be the Outer Hebrides. Could be either one, could be both, in a way that like kind of an action shot, like this is it far away and this is it close up or something. They do some weird type of devices like that in the ancient traditions. But I think that that this is his eye, this is his nose, this is his mouth. His mouth is open. This is his lower lip, basically, and that this part right here is like a little tooth that comes down, and then this island or islands that are immediately adjacent, I think represent the thumb that he touches to his tooth. So, and that's like his wisdom tooth and his wisdom thumb and the wisdom salmon. So, yeah, I'm not sure if that's related to the name wisdom tooth, but seems to overlap. So that also suggests that Finn may be Britain. And Scotland is half of Britain. For some people, a lot of modern people think Britain means England, but no, Britain is the island. Britain was there thousands of years before the English came to Britain. Britain was named Britain long before the English came there. So, anyway, here's just another comparison where I actually, did zoom in myself on the Argyll Peninsula to be his arm, and then I zoomed in on the Red Hand of Ulster there. Actually, I don't think that's the best one. Well, you can kind of see it. This might be the one where I changed the color and it dimmed the red too much. But anyway, at least you can see the outline or the shape of the hand, the shape on the coast, and the shape of the hills being the thumb and fingers. And then Outer Hebrides here being his club, that even though he kind of switched it around. And then the Welsh Peninsula being his harness on his belt there that's attached to Leinster, and his legs being Cornwall and Devon, this peninsula, and yeah, And then the three hostages being Ulster, Connacht, and Munster. So, and then just comparing it to the, modern painting of the Red Hand of Ulster, where you have the arm, bent arm, and then you have the hand on the Irish shore, the Ulster shore. Here it is, Red Hand of Ulster on the Antrim shore. Basically, it's just the North Antrim Hills there and the shape of it on the coast. And then the severed arm here being Finn McCool's arm. And see how you can see the peninsula right here, Argyll, and then it connects to Antrim there. So yeah, it's really due to, I really had to give all the credit, or most of the credit, to the ancient Egyptians. It's only through this map that I really figured out this story. I've known this story for like years, like 20 years or more, like since I've been studying my Ulster heritage, and because it's a very famous story in Ulster. But only through the Egyptians did I figure out what it actually means. Let's see. 55, 56. The Red Hand is present in the arms of a number of Ulster's counties, such as Antrim, Cavan, Londonderry, Monaghan, and Tyrone. It also appears in the Ulster banner and is used by many other official and non-official organizations throughout the province. The arms of the Irish society that carried out the plantation of Ulster feature the Red Hand. So that's like the Irish society. So that's basically British Protestants that like took over a bunch of land that the English had expropriated in the early 1600s. The Red Hand can be regarded as one of the very few cross-community symbols used in Northern Ireland, which makes up 6 of Ulster's 9 counties, crossing the sectarian political divide. So Northern Ireland, is most, like, not all of Ulster broke off during partition, because there's Donegal and Cavan and forget the other one, but there's 3 that stayed with the Republic, and Antrim, Down, Tyrone, Londonderry, Armagh, what's the other one? Anyway, stuff like that. Those are the ones that became Northern Ireland. So the Red Hand, due to its roots as a Gaelic Irish symbol, nationalist Republican groups have used and continue to use it. For example, the Republican Irish Citizen Army, the Republican National Graves Association Belfast, the Irish Transport and General Workers Union, and GAA clubs in Ulster. Other organizations within the 9 counties of Ulster, and also supported within the political sectarian divide, use it happily in the 6 Ulster counties within Northern Ireland, such as the Ulster Hockey Union. These are supported from both sides of the community, nationalist and unionist. As the most identifiable symbol of Ulster at the start of the 20th century, it has also been used by Northern Ireland's Unionists and Loyalists, such as its use in the Ulster Covenant 1912 and in the arms of the Government of Northern Ireland from 1922 and now abolished. The Ulster banner, the former flag of the Northern Ireland government, the Ulster Volunteers, and loyalist paramilitary groups based only within Northern Ireland, such as the Ulster Volunteer Force and Ulster Defence Association. I think I lived I spent a month living in one of their areas in Belfast and Newtonards Road. The arms of the Viscount Brookborough indicate the Viscount is also a baronet or a cross engrailed per pale gules and sable, a crescent for difference. A left sinister red hand is an option for baronets to add to their arms to indicate their rank. Okay, so it's a little red hand right there. The College of Arms formerly allowed this in 1835, ruling that the baronets of England, Ireland, Great Britain, or the United Kingdom may bear either a canton in their coat of arms or in an escutcheon at their pleasure the arms of Ulster, to wit, a hand gules or a bloody hand in a field argent. It is blazoned as follows: a hand sinister couped at the wrist, extended in pale gules. King James I of England established the hereditary order of baronets in England on 22 May 1611, in the words of Collins 1741, for the plantation and protection of the whole kingdom of Ireland, but more especially for the defence and security of the province of Ulster, and therefore for their distinction. Those of this order and their descendants may bear the Red Hand of Ulster in their coats of arms, either in a canton or an escutcheon at their election. Such baronets may also display the Red Hand of Ulster on its own as a badge, suspended by a ribbon below the shield of arms. Baronets of Nova Scotia, unlike other baronets, do not use the Red Hand of Ulster, but have their own badge showing the royal arms of Scotland on a shield over the saltire of St. Andrew. The left-hand version has also been used by the Irish National Foresters,